Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. Jeff Brohm, the Louisville Cardinals continue to be one of the hottest teams in the transfer portal, flipping the commitment from Tyler Barron, who was previously committed to Ole Miss, out of the transfer portal, now heading to the Louisville Cardinals. And Jeff Brohm and Louisville have done a phenomenal job in the transfer portal thus far. We've broken down a ton of their commitments. Tyler Barron, probably the best one to date. This is a difference maker coming off the edge. And I feel like one of the best kept secrets of college football all of last year was how good this Louisville front seven was, getting after the passer, stopping the run, returning guys like Ashton Gelati in 2024. This Louisville defense specifically, that front seven looks to be a dominant group once again. And you start taking a look at the ACC. I mean, Florida State, Miami, Louisville, definitely up there. Clemson, this is a team that's going to compete for another ACC championship. Very, very exciting get for the Louisville Cardinals. Want to get into Tyler Barron, what he to this Louisville defense, and then talk about the front seven and talk about what it's going to look like in 2024. Before we do, just want to say thank you to you guys. It has been a blast breaking down these Louisville commitments as they've kind of flown in over the past month. The amount of support you guys have shown really does mean a lot. It's something I really do enjoy doing, breaking down these commitments, talking about roster construction. Cannot thank you guys enough for all the support. If y'all do enjoy the content, enjoy the updates, consider subscribing to the channel. Without further ado, let's get into Tyler Barron, talk about what he brings to this Louisville defense. And I want to start with how he wins. This is a guy that I think what makes him so special, what makes him the third best edge rusher in the portal, the 14th best player overall, is there is a variety of ways Tyler Barron can win. And quite frankly, had he wanted to go to the NFL draft, probably would have been a late day 2, early day 3 pick. Tyler Barron wants to come back and make himself a first-round caliber draft pick. And, I mean, you take a look at the film, you talk about Tyler Barron. I remember talking about him when he committed to Ole Miss being a massive get for the Ole Miss Rebels, a guy that can win with burst and bend around the edge. Very good get off, knows how to use his hands, knows how to sink his hips and kind of beat tackles with elite burst and speed, but also a guy that can win right through tackles as well. And when you kind of mesh that together, that is probably how you get an elite pass rusher, right? When you have the ability to win with speed and tackles have to really heavy set on the outside, and then you have the ability to go run right through a tackle as well and collapse a pocket. That's what makes Tyler Barron so special, but it kind of goes beyond just being an elite pass rusher, because you look at Louisville and how they kind of wanted to operate on defense last year. And when they were playing their best defense, what did it look like? Stopping the run on first and second down and then getting after the passer on third down. And they had a recipe. They stuck to that recipe, and it was a recipe that worked for Louisville. Tyler Barron, elite against the run as well. His average depth of tackle against the run was 0.1 yards down the field. So what does that tell you? And it's a metric I personally love using when evaluating defensive linemen against the run, is where are you making your plays against the run? Are you making your plays at the line of scrimmage? Or are you making your plays 4 or 5 yards past the line of scrimmage and kind of getting moved off the football? Tyler Barron making his plays right at the line of scrimmage with an average depth of tackle of 0.1. I mean, that kind of tells you how he plays the run. He stacks and sheds blocks extremely well, makes his plays at or around the line of scrimmage, does not get moved and does not get beat at the point of attack. So Tyler Barron, elite against the run, had 16 run stops in the SEC last year at Tennessee, and also a guy that can get after the passer. And you start looking at what this pass rush unit is going to look like for Louisville in 2024. I mean, it's a loaded group, and you're looking at, probably it's going to be slept on, right? The national media is not going to talk about this, but Ashton Gelati and Tyler Barron are going to be one of the better pass rushing duos, not only in the ACC, but in the entire country, right? Taking a look at Ashton Gelati's numbers last year, again, Ashton Gelati being one of the best kept secrets of all of college football, had 42 quarterback hurries, a pass rush win rate of 17.9%. He's another guy that, had he wanted to go to the NFL, would have been selected. Tyler Barron, you take a look at his numbers, 31 quarterback hurries, a 16.6 pass rush win rate. Both of these guys can get after the quarterback at an extremely high level, are both good against the run, and it fits exactly what Louisville wants to do in terms of being a defense, right? Be really stingy on first and second down, stopping the run, and then get after the quarterback and third down. They got 2 edge rushers who are really good stopping the run and can get after the quarterback on third downs. Tyler Barron a massive get for this Louisville team. And you kind of start looking at what Louisville is doing in that front seven, right? In the transfer portal. And we can take a look and pull up the rankings. And the Louisville Cardinals sitting at the 4th best transfer portal class in the country, bringing 25 commits. But the thing I would kind of hammer home is these commitments for Louisville are high quality players, either guys that have a ton of upside and are looking to kind of get that out of them going to Louisville, or guys that just were really, really good football players and winding up at Louisville for the 2024 season. It's an elite transfer portal class filled with guys that are going to be contributors in the 2024 season. But I specifically want to focus on this front seven and what they've brought in, right? You take a look at the inside of that defensive line. They bring in a guy in Thor Griffith who goes 6'2", 300+ pounds, a phenomenal athlete, wins at the point of attack, making that jump from Harvard to the ACC. And then you go out and get a guy like Jordan Garrard coming from FIU, who both him, Thor Griffith, and Jordan Garrard, two guys that were extremely coveted by other Power 5 programs, making that jump to the Power 5. Louisville lands both of them. So you have two guys that are adding not only talent, but a massive amount of depth to that Louisville inside of the defensive line. Then you look at the edge rusher spot. You had Ashton Gelati coming back. You add Tyler Barron. You have a guy like Mason Rager, who I think is going to be a budding star in 2024. What I'm focusing on is not only is there NFL talent throughout this defensive line, it's also a really deep group that returns a lot of guys that were a part of a very good Louisville defensive line in 2023. And when you combine elite talent with elite depth, and that's how you really get a good defense. And looking at this Louisville defense last year, I mean, again, in my mind, like one of the best kept secrets in college football was how good this Louisville defense was. The national media didn't want to talk about it. When you talk about Jeff Brohm and Jeff Brohm coach teams, you talk about the offense. This was a defense that specifically in the front seven only allowed 3.4 yards per carry to opposing teams. That was 18th best in the country, only 100 yards rushing per game. That was 11th best in the country. I mean, a top 15 team, almost top 10 team, a defense against the run, returning guys, adding a ton of talent. No one's going to talk about Louisville. The national media, you're not going to see it on ESPN. A lot of the excitement is going to go to Florida State and Miami and Clemson, although all three of those teams going to be very good. I think Louisville is right in there with being a contender in the ACC, and I think they've upgraded that quarterback spot with a guy like Tyler Shook, and if he stays healthy, you're looking at a Louisville team that I think was really good last year. I think can even take a step in 2024. And again, year two under the head coach, Jeff Brohm, you started getting a little bit more comfortability with how things operate with the scheme on offense. I mean, when you add a guy in Tyler Barron, who in the SEC had 10.5 tackles for loss, 6 sacks in 2023, total of 27 tackles for loss, 13.5 sacks. This is only going to make this Louisville defense better. Talent and depth being added with a guy like Tyler Barron. Massive fan of this Louisville team and what they've done in the transfer portal. We'll probably do a bigger episode and kind of recap all of Louisville's transfer portal class, talk about how we feel about it. But right now, Tyler Barron, massive commitment for the Cardinals. Appreciate you guys rocking with the boys again. If you guys do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. Appreciate you guys, and we'll talk to y'all later.